My name is Herman Johnson, and I'm talking with Speak Your Peace TV.
Oh, yeah. Now, when I was a young boy, at the age of 5, my mother said I was going to be the greatest man alive.
I'm originally from Louisiana. I was born in Gilbert, Louisiana, and lived there for a year or so, but then my home is in Winsboro, Louisiana, I guess about 15 miles from Gilbert where I was born, but I lived there for much of my early life, and, and back in 1951, 55, I moved to Mound Bayou, Mississippi, so that's where I am now.
Okay. Okay.
Well, it's a long story of what made me move to Mound Bayou, but as I went to school in Winsboro, Louisiana, and finished high school, went to Southern University in Louisiana, at Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and when I graduated from college, during the time I was in school and in college, my my mother's half sister, they got together after a number of years and found out that she was living in Mound Bayou, Mississippi, which I hadn't heard about, but in a way, Mound Bayou, Mississippi was the oldest and largest all-black city in America, and when she started telling us about it, I had to come visit us, and as time went on, that's where I am. I
You
moved
ended
here.
up just staying there. Okay. All right.
Well, I guess it's like most black folk growing up in the South. And my experience pretty much was like that. I had an opportunity to go to elementary school, and during the time went to elementary school was back in the days of early, middle 30s, and the school that I was going to in first grade, I had to walk about 2 miles to the school,
Right.
and when it rained and it got muddy, I might have to hitch up the horse and get on a slide, which most people don't know what a slide is.
Nah, I don't know what slide is.
A slide, it was something that was built off with boards and with a two by eight, and built with planks on it, and you stand on it and ride so your feet wouldn't get muddy, and the horse would pull it and pull it all the way to the school or the church where we were going to school. But anyway, that's what a slide was, and I'm making everything short and
Yeah, right.
trying to
Cool.
talk about this. But then after that, the high school was about 6 miles away from where I was living on what we call the Ellis Place out in the country, 6 miles away from Winsboro, Louisiana, or from my home. And when I went to high school, middle school, I had to walk, and I had to walk 6 miles each way to school.
Really?
Yeah, and the shortcut was through the woods.
Okay.
So I had my fun fighting snakes and whatever else I might meet walking through the woods.
Just trying to get to school.
But anyway, after I went to high school and finished high school, of course you hadn't asked me this yet, but finished high school and ended up going to college.
Okay, where did you go to college at?
I went to college at Southern University of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and the year I finished college, I went to. The year I finished high school, uh, got out in May, and then and I applied for college and went to Southern, and then in the early part of August, I went there to work to get prepared for the school that started in the later part of August and September.
Right.
So that's where I started going to school, and I went there to get a job, and that's where I went to school for. When I went to school, I decided I wanted to major in music.
Okay, you were a music guy.
Yeah, so when I first got into college, I majored in music for the first 2 years. And I guess my background in music was not as strong as I thought I needed to have had in order to go into that field. So I went into another field, and it was business administration.
Okay.
Well, my first job in Mound Bayou, an interesting thing is that when I finished Southern University, my department head asked me where was I going, after I finished, since I finished college, where was I going to make my home?
Right.
And I told her that I would either go to Chicago or New York, and I had visited and lived in both places before I finished school, so I was kind of familiar with them. But anyway, she said, "Well, you're going to be in Mound Bayou for a while," and I said, "Yes." He said, I said, my wife is teaching school now, and that's the reason my department head knew that I was coming to Mound Bayou, because she knew that I had a wife in Mound Bayou.
That your wife was gonna bring you out here.
She's going, and she was teaching school, so she said, if you go into Mound Bayou and you're gonna be there for a while, go by and see Dr. Howard. Well,
who was Dr. Howard?
Dr. T.R.M. Howard was a person, physician at the Knights and Daughters of Tabor, was a hospital here, the first black hospital in the state of Mississippi, where black people could walk in the front door and get served. It was the only one in the state at the time where that was run by black folk. And
so back then, you're saying that there were no black hospitals that were actually being ran by black people for black people at all.
Right.
Before then.
Right.
And the man that started this, his name was T.R.M. Howard.
No, T.R.M. Howard did not start the hospital. He came from Kentucky, and through, I guess, from Kentucky as the medical, person in charge of the medical for the hospital.
Right.
But once he got here, he started to improving things around the city, and he developed a lot of things. And when I got here, he had the first swimming pool, outdoor swimming pool.
Wow.
Olympic-sized swimming pool, and with the 8 feet and 4 feet jumping board, with black boys was jumping off the board like white boys in other parts of the southern state that you didn't see anywhere.
Except for that area.
That black boys jumping off the swimming pool swimming.
All right.
But anyway, he had that going on. He had a zoo going on here in Mound Bayou. And,
a zoo? Really?
Yeah, and he had established the Magnolia Mutual Life Insurance Company, which I was working for. Let me back up.
Okay.
He had the Magnolia Mutual Life Insurance Company.
And this is T.R.M. Howard?
That's T.R.M. Howard.
Okay.
Now, when I got here, and the director of my school had recommended I see Dr. Howell. So when I came to see him, he said, "Yeah, I got a job for you." So I'm wondering what is the job you got for me? And I'm just getting here. He said, "Well, Medgar Evers, who was working for me, he just took the position of field director for the NAACP, and I need someone to fill that position. So that's the position that I that I fill with Magnolia Mutual Life Insurance Company." So
Hold on, let me just briefly go in here. So you are the person that took Medgar Evers' job
yeah.
after he left and went on to the NAACP after he stopped selling life insurance.
Right, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.